Hey, what's up guys? It's Chris from VirtualDJ.com. First of all, I'd like to thank you for taking a look at the tutorial videos that I am starting to do. This will be the second one that I've actually put together. The first couple tutorials are going to be really simple tutorials. For you advanced users out there, a lot of the information I'm probably going to give is going to be, kind of boring. You might want to skip to the next video when I get one up there. But for the new users, this information is going to be important. It's going to help you quickly master VirtualDJ or I guess understand the interface a little bit better than if you wouldn't have heard or seen this video. Okay, so first of all, we're going to go up to the top corner of the skin here where the CPU monitor is. Okay, basically all that's going to do is give you a real-time display of what's going on with your computer. If this were all the way red right now, that would raise a flag and tell us that we probably need to optimize our computer, because VirtualDJ is going to have a hard time if your computer is working to its fullest, not doing anything. Right now, VirtualDJ is not doing anything at all. It's not using any CPU. If it is using any CPU, it's very low. The reason that this is at about 50 or 60% at this point right now is because I'm running a software to record this session, so it's actually boosting the CPU up a little bit higher than it normally would be. So this computer I have already optimized, so it's a little bit high right now, but like I said, it's because I'm running the software. Anyways, let's get back to the interface here. So the first thing we're going to look at, the second thing we're going to look at is the BPM button here. If you kind of roll over it, if you got a PC, it's going to tell you what it is. It's Deck 1 Beat Tap. Basically what this is going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you to tap out the BPM of tracks that maybe VirtualDJ wasn't able to calculate properly. Now VirtualDJ does a great job of calculating BPM, but from time to time you're going to find a track that's 40 BPM or 220 BPM. That should tell you that the VirtualDJ probably didn't get the BPM correctly. So what you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to tap to the beat of the song as the song's playing. Obviously the song's not playing right now, so if this song was if you could hear this song, you'd be able to tap to the beat of the song, which right now there isn't a beat, it's just the intro, but you get what I'm saying. You would tap the BPM to the track, and that would manually map the BPM of the track, and that would give you the ability to beat mix it to other tracks. So that's helpful when the tracks are not properly understood in VirtualDJ. And like I said, that's not a lot, but it's good to have that button there. The next thing we're going to talk about is the hot cues. I get calls from time to time that people ask, what are hot cues? For a lot of you DJs out there, a lot of you that are already DJs, you know what a hot cue is, but I just wanted to touch on this shortly or quickly because there's people that call and ask, what is a hot cue? Okay, so basically a hot cue is the ability to create a cue point or a jump to point, I guess is another way to explain it, for the software or for yourself. So you would just basically click the 1 or the 2 or whatever button you wanted to press or whatever cue point you wanted to create, and VirtualDJ will automatically snap to that. Now to move the cue point, you can right click at a different point, and see how the cue point's moving along the track there? That's moving the cue point. Now you can also delete the cue point by simply hovering over it in the waveform here, and then right click on it and then click on delete. Now we've got rid of that hot cue. So that's just quickly going over hot cues. If you have questions about hot cues or how do you create them or anything like that, you can shoot me an email. I'll leave that at the end of the video. I just wanted to briefly touch on that. Moving on to the waveform here. This is basically an image of what the song looks like. Up here is kind of a zoomed out version of what the song looks like. This is kind of a zoomed in version. Okay, or sorry, this I guess is zoomed out because it's you can see less of it. This is zoomed in. Either way. So basically this gives you an idea of the song structure, what the song looks like. So you can tell that at this point here in the song, there's going to be a lull in the music, or it's going to be quiet, and then when we get back to this part here, as you can see, the waveform jumps up and you've got beats there. This gives you the breakdowns for when you're mixing. This just gives you an idea of how loud the song is or where the breaks are in the song. So this is helpful for house DJs. It's helpful for all DJs, but a lot of house DJs and dance techno DJs use this because they mix in the next song on the downtime there. Okay. Next we've got the key lock feature. which right here it is enabled. So that means that when we move the pitch, the key of the track is not going to change. Now, depending on how far you move this, right now I've only got it on 12%. So 12% in any direction, VirtualDJ is pretty much going to handle well. It's not going to sound, it's going to sound good still with the key lock active. Now, if the key lock wasn't active and we moved it all the way to the top, we're going to notice a pitch change in the song. With the key lock active, obviously that's going to keep the key in place, and you're not going to notice a change in the pitch. That's good for hip-hop DJs that want to beat mix songs together and not alter the pitch of the song. It's also good for other DJs too as well. I just mentioned hip-hop DJs because it's common. Okay, and here we have pitch lock. If you were to enable pitch lock on this deck, what would happen is when you move this pitch slider would also move. So this is helpful when you have two songs of the same BPM that have already been synced together, and then you want to speed up both songs at the exact same time. You could use the pitch lock button here to do that. The other lock we have here is the smart play lock. Okay, this is another smart feature of VirtualDJ. These are all smart features, we call them in VirtualDJ. This is the ability, this lock here, basically when it's active, what this does is it automatically syncs the song up together with the other song that's playing. So right now, even though I dropped the exact same song into place to kind of show you, if this song was set at 123 and this song was playing at 130, which is what I got going on right now, and we'll move it in a little bit further here to another part. If the smart play was active and we brought this song, and see how the BPM is different here, if we pressed play and smart play was active, first of all it would match the BPM to the track, so now they're both 130, and it would also sync up these CBGs, the bars here. It would sync those up so that the song would be beat mixed together. So if you take a look, we can bring this, if you know it's queued up here. If we press play and we're not pressing play at the right time, if smart play is active, it automatically locks the beat together. So you press play again, it automatically locks it. We can press play not on beat, and it will automatically move it forward or move it back to lock the beats together. Okay, so that's all smart play is. A lot of times people call and mention that when they press play, the song doesn't play right away. It's probably because they've enabled these gold locks or these orange colored locks above the play button. People call and say that when they press play, it doesn't play right away, or it skips. It's not really skipping. It's just trying to beat mix, or it's trying to sync up to the song and changing the BPM. So that's smart play. Obviously, cue, pause, play, sync. That's all pretty straightforward. Sync I'll touch on lightly. Sync is the ability, or not is the ability, but what it does basically is when you press sync when a song's playing, so I'll throw another song in here. This song is 129, this one's 130. On the right deck is 130, on the left deck is 129. If I click sync, it's automatically just going to bring the BPM to the same for both decks. So sync is just a quick way of matching the BPM without moving it on the slider here. Okay, and then let's move over to the sampler. I'm sure you're all aware what this is, what happens here. This is basically just the ability to go through the samples that you've got in the 12 slots. Right now there's just the default ones here, but to activate any of them, all you would do is left click on the little arrow there and pick the one you want and click it, and right now it would beat mix to the song because it's currently set that way in the sampler. You could also record a sample in real time, so if we were playing this track here and clicked record, it would be recording until I press stop. If it was approximately 2, 4, or 8 beats in that short time, it would automatically set it up to be a loop. If it was a random amount of time, it would make it just a straight sample where it wouldn't actually auto loop. Moving over to the effects here, we got the effects area. Beat grid by default is set up there. Backspin, pretty straightforward. I'm sure you've heard of these effects. If not, you can definitely check them out, play around with them, and see what kind of sounds they make in VirtualDJ. But this section here is just where you control the effects. The P1 and the P2 are just parameter buttons for the effect in the slot. So for example, with the backspin, P1 is going to tell it how long to be, how loud to be, I think is the other option there. If we take a look, let's go to backspin. So speed and length there is the parameters for that. So speed is P1 and length is P2 in that scenario there. And last but not least, we got the loop area here. This is straightforward. You're going to create a 1 beat, a 2 beat, a 4 beat, an 8 beat, a 16 or a 32 beat loop. And then you also have the option to create you know, a specific type of loop, just an A to B loop. This is what in and out does, just an A to B loop. And then if you have this little icon here locked, what's going to happen is it's going to create a loop that's 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. It's going to make a loopable loop, if that makes any sense. And then you can shift the loop. So if you just missed what you wanted to loop while you're creating a loop, so we'll do a 4 beat loop, and for example, you want to move the loop back just a bit because you want it to match it a little bit better. So I can use the shift key to do that, and that's looping it a little bit better. Probably would sound a little bit better if you could hear it right now. But yeah, that's really it for the deck itself. Like I said, this is probably pretty straightforward or pretty easy for any of you guys out there that have used VirtualDJ over the last 8 years. But for you newcomers, this is going to be helpful in understanding how the deck works. So that's it for this tutorial. Like I said, I'm going to put my email address in the bottom of the in the comments or in the tutorial itself, the video itself. So if you do have any questions, be sure to send them to me, chris@virtualdj.com, and I look forward to making another video for you guys. If you have any requests too, be sure to send them to chris@virtualdj.com. Thanks, guys.